If you live in Wales or plan on visiting sometime in the near future, there's a new law that comes into place today which is worth bearing in mind. So whether you go in clubbing with your friends or heading to the Principality Stadium for the rugby, you're going to need more than just your ID and your ticket from now on. You're also going to need an NHS Covid pass. Now, this is something worth sorting before you put your dancing shoes on or before you have one too many at pre-drinks. I've had lots of questions from people asking why they're mandatory here in Wales and also how to get one. So let's go through some of your questions. Why are the Covid passes mandatory in Wales? Health is devolved here in Wales so the government can make their own laws. Now, politicians voted in the Senedd, which is the Welsh Parliament, last week to decide if they wanted the NHS Covid passes to become mandatory from Monday. The result was very close. It was 28 votes for to 27 votes against, so the law passed. However, it was a bit controversial. There was one Conservative minister who tried to vote over Zoom, couldn't get the technology to work. So the presiding officer sent over her personal mobile number, telling the minister to vote over the phone. However, she never received that call. This meant the vote went ahead without him. If he had voted, he would have voted against, which would have resulted in a tie. However, without his vote, the law was passed. Now, Welsh Labour say that the NHS Covid passes will make sure that infection rates stay low. However, the Welsh Liberal Democrats, the Tories and Plaid Cymru all voted against the passes becoming mandatory from Monday. Are the NHS Covid passes the same as vaccine passports? Well, yes and no. The name is obviously different, but actually there is a little bit of a difference between the NHS Covid pass and the vaccine passport. With the vaccine passport, something that the UK government dismissed just a couple of months ago, you were only able to prove if you were double jabbed or not. But with this Covid pass, you can put in your vaccination status or you can take a lateral flow test, one of these, to prove that you haven't tested positive for COVID. So you've got those two options, and essentially it means that if you haven't been able to have the vaccine or you've decided to not have it for whatever reason, you can still go out and have fun and go to these events as long as you've proved negative for COVID within 48 hours of going to the event. How do I get an NHS Covid pass? It's pretty straightforward to get an NHS Covid pass. If you use a smartphone, head onto the internet and search NHS Covid Pass Wales. You can then go onto the Welsh Government website and follow the links through to the correct page on the NHS Wales website. There you can put in your details. If you've got an NHS account, it's really straightforward. If you haven't, make an account, and each time you go to make an NHS Covid pass, it'll be even easier. Then you can put in your email address, your password, and then you'll send a code to your phone just to make sure that you verified your phone number. Pop that code that you're sent back into the NHS Wales website, and then it'll generate a barcode which you can essentially put onto your phone. It's sent through your email address once you've proved that you're double jabbed or that you've had that negative lateral flow test, and you can add it to your Apple Wallet, which is really straightforward. I'll show you mine now. This is an old one, and essentially this only lasts for 48 hours. When you head to that event, whether it be the nightclub or you go to the Principality for the rugby, they just scan this barcode here and you can go in. And on the pass it says when it's valid until. Like I said, it's only valid for 48 hours, but it also says valid in England, and just to be sure, this is valid in Wales too, of course. Can I still get into a nightclub or a sports event without an NHS Covid pass? Maybe I've forgotten to do it. Short answer, no. If you're over the age of 18 and you're heading to a large-scale event or nightclub here in Wales today, you will have to show an NHS Covid pass for entry. So whether that be an indoor non-seated event of over 500 people, an outdoor non-seated event of over 4,000 people, or any event of over 10,000 people, you'll have to show the pass for entry. So make sure you've got the NHS Covid pass downloaded or printed before you head out, otherwise you will be turned away if you don't have one.